Welcome back to the Golden Ticket Season 2, episode number 7. We're here with Reese Sanders.
Isaiah Dunn.
And Jimmy Collins.
And Jack, introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. I'm Jack Ahart.
That's right. Jack
Thank you for having
Ahart.
me.
Of course, Jack Ahart in the room right now. We are so excited. We are coming back from a 2-month break. Isaiah, a lot happened with the football team. I'm sure Jimmy's got some updates for us too. I know I do. But we're going to get right into the episode.
Jack Ahart sounds like a superhero name. Am I wrong? Do
Like an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a cool
I
name.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
It's given like Tom Cruise type.
So is this what, our third track athlete?
We had
4.
We had Remy, we had
Olivia,
Fabry, and
Jaden.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yep.
That's right. We
the
did.
fourth.
Look at Jaden.
I know.
I guess fifth, including you, Reese.
Yeah.
So fifth.
So I'm the first male track athlete then.
You are.
Yes, you are.
You're the first
That's
male.
fire.
Representing.
Usually
Proud.
what happens is we realize that we want to do an episode, but we haven't talked to any guests. So then Reese just gets one of her friends.
And it works out pretty well,
Yeah.
actually. So
Except I feel like for this one,
Yeah, no, I was pretty eager.
Jack really wanted to come on the podcast,
That's
and
awesome,
I
bro.
was so excited that he was like interested
it
in.
was Remy's episode that inspired me.
Heck yeah,
actually.
heck yeah! But obviously, Jack is a great friend and teammate as well. So, Jack, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit more
Mhm.
so that we can get to know you, and so can our audience.
Yeah, so I'm a sophomore here at Notre Dame. I run the 400. I'm originally from New Jersey. I study mechanical engineering here.
Time out. You do a sport and you study what?
Mechanical engineering.
That's a first.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a mechanical engineer here.
That's pretty impressive.
That's insane. How is that?
How do you balance
workload?
that?
It's tough. I'm still trying to learn, to be honest. It's like that was honestly my biggest concern coming into college, was like thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to balance all this. But it's been fine. I think this year's been harder for sure.
So you knew coming in you wanted to study.
Yeah.
And you really want, did you ever think about not wanting to do it anymore because of how much it was, or?
Honestly, no. Like, I've been discouraged and like frustrated, but I never thought to myself like, I'm gonna drop out of this. But yeah, I think it's kind of just about finding a routine. Like, I've been able to get a pretty solid schedule going, and if I have a schedule, I can stick to that. It's not as bad. But
What drew you to mechanical?
originally, I mean, I love like cars and stuff, so I'm into racing. I'm into F1. I said I joked I was gonna mention F1 the entire time on the podcast, but I won't. But yeah, that was originally like what drew me into like engineering, just how those things work. And yeah, I mean, I've always loved like math and science too, so that was the
Can't say the same.
That's awesome. You're in a room with a
Good for
bunch
you.
of FTT majors. But that's really cool. I wish I had that gift with math and science. I just see letters and numbers.
Who's your favorite team or driver? I don't know that much about F1, but I know
Mhm. I always support McLaren as a team, but my favorite driver is Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Which might,
well, he's the best.
yeah,
He's like the GOAT.
It's like cheering for the Chiefs.
yeah, exactly. It might be a little questionable, but
Oh, so is he not likable?
I think he's likable. Like, you either love him or you hate him. I'd say
Okay.
that's kind of the
Similar to the Chiefs.
dynamic.
It's
Yeah.
more people hate him. But I went to I believe it was an F1 race. My mom's a helicopter nurse, so
Oh, wow.
she was working a
Is it-
helicopter flight nurse.
The one here, like in Vegas.
I don't know. I was young.
Oh,
I
you
was
were-
probably like 12. I was younger, but we went to one and I had so much fun. It was a
Yeah.
blast. But it's a definitely different atmosphere that I've ever been a part
Mhm.
of. But no, that's my little side piece in with racing that I had a part
So
of.
would you want to work for a team like that?
I mean, that's always been my dream. It's really tough to get into like an
Yeah.
opportunity like that.
That was gonna be my second question.
But automotive in general is definitely like an industry I'm very interested in, I'd say. But yeah,
So that's your dream, and you just happen to be very good at track.
yeah.
That's sick. That's awesome. And you said you were in the 400.
I do. Yeah.
That's a tough race. How do you mentally get yourself ready for that specific race?
The fan bike. No. No, I mean, I guess I've kind of just gotten used to it at this point. When I was younger, I used to get like a lot of anxiety, especially honestly with the 400. Even like I ran track in middle school, and I remember just always dreading like the 400 in particular. And so I guess it's funny like now it's my main event, but I guess I don't know. I love like the challenge of it. I'd say it's a very strategic race, which I enjoy more compared to like the 100 or 200, because there's the speed aspect, but also the grit aspect and the I guess planning and more strategic part too. So I think it's a fun race overall.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna budge in here because I know Jack's being very humble. Not only does he run the 400, but he last year was a freshman. He was made it to the ACC finals, which is
go.
like top 8. He placed 8th, right? You placed 8th.
Seventh.
Oh my
Get it.
bad.
Get it.
7th.
Get it
Shit. Placed 7th, but that was like the first time Notre Dame had somebody in the finals for that race in a really long time, right?
That's awesome.
And it was like he was a fresh, like he's a fresh, like very young. And so then like even that earlier in that season last year, you were injured indoor after having like a great couple indoor races, and then injury upon you, and then you came back and had this great outdoor season, and now you're kind of in the same spot again. You've been working on the fan bike. Aiden wants me to ask you what's the hardest fan bike workout, because that's kind of like where you'll see Jack, but he's just now coming back.
Yep.
And we're so excited to see how he does this season. But I guess my question to you is, how has that been? Because I'm sure this journey has looked a lot different than when you committed here and like had this expectation that you were going to be running, but your training is completely different.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I'd say it's easier this time around. Last year, I pulled my hamstring like after coming off of 2 pretty good meets, and that was devastating, because I was so excited to like carry the momentum through winter break and stuff. But I think in a way it's definitely made me a stronger athlete, mentally, physically, because I mean, first of all, the cross training, it'll get you into shape. So it's honestly, in some ways, I'm glad I get to cross train a lot because it keeps me really fit and really strong. But I'd say the mental aspect of it too is really what I think has made me a better competitor and a better athlete, because it's it lights that fire under you. Sometimes when you're training and you're healthy, you get, I don't want to say complacent, but you kind of take it for granted a little bit. And then, having those setbacks, it relights that fire and kind of gives you that extra bit of motivation. So when you do come back, you're just that much more eager to prove yourself and stuff. So yeah, I think the injuries have definitely like helped me a lot. But yeah, and favorite fan bike or hardest fan bike workout was the question. 50 on, 30 seconds off, 30 on, 2 sets of 5.
Oh no.
That was actually the
That
one
sounds
that
rough.
I was like in the corner and you came over because, or no, Z came over because I think you told Z to check on me.
Yes, we were running, and I see in the corner of my eye, because they roll the fan bike out to the track, so he's like
Ooh.
with everybody, so we can just see him grinding out on the fan
Just
bike.
torture.
But he's not like doing the same workout as us. And I just see him walk over to the corner of the track where like you can barely see him. And I'm getting on the line, and I look at my coach. I go, Coach D, can you make sure he's like breathing over there? Like I think he might have passed out. And I think you're just fine. But yeah, no, that was that workout.
Yeah.
So it was 50 strong, like you're going
50,
really
yeah,
hard.
50 really hard.
And then 30-second rest, and then you do what again?
And then 30 seconds.
And then you're going
really
again.
hard. And then you get 2 minutes off, and then 2 sets of 5.
And then you do that 5 times, times 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's rough.
I could see why you were on the ground.
Yeah,
like that.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, if I just like turn around this corner, no one will see me. And then you guys all went to the starting line, which is like a direct shot to like where I was. So I was, it was rough.
I mean, you work hard, Jack. You work like nobody's watching, because it's insane. Like it'll like, I don't know.
Get you going.
You see it on the track, like when you come back, and it's amazing. So
Right.
you have like the greatest attitude ever. I think like, how do you keep such a great attitude?
I mean, I guess like kind of, what I was saying before, just, using the setback as motivation. And like for me, the fan bike in particular, it's more mental training than it is physical training. Like I think to myself, if I have 2 sets left and it's like really painful, I think like, okay, well the 400, the last 100 meters is going to be really painful. So I try and like almost literally imagine like
That you're on the track.
that I'm on the track.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I get through them, and that's how I like push myself hard. But yeah, I mean,
And now you have one at home.
I do have one at home. Yeah. Christmas morning, I went downstairs.
Merry Christmas.
It was like partially my mom wanted one too, because I mean they're just great to get like a workout in, like regardless like what your training is. But yeah, it's just sitting in my basement. It's waiting for me.
Jimmy's looking up fan bike on
It's the
right
Rogue
now.
Echo.
The Rogue Echo. That
Yeah.
sounds difficult.
Is it like the one with the massive fan as the wheel?
Yeah, and like you
Yes.
push it with.
Okay,
your
we've done
arms,
that.
yeah.
Is that one in the Goog too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, those are
Ooh.
rough.
Yeah.
That looks.
Those
quite
are really hard.
And
We don't. We
really dark.
hard. No, we don't do it as long as them either. So I can't imagine. But you talked about fire, right?
Mhm.
You talked about how that setback gave you fire. But before the setback, I mean, getting to know you right now, like you talked about how you're a mechanical engineer, how you're doing track, you run the 400, which is arguably the hardest race. It seems like you always attack the hardest things, that also things you're interested in, but you go all the way, whatever you do.
Mhm.
When did that fire happen to you? Like when maybe it was younger, maybe it was something that you've learned going forward, and why do you always challenge yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. It's I feel like I've always kind of been like that a little bit. Like playing sports even as a little kid, like I was very, I was definitely a perfectionist. Like I'd get really upset at myself if I, made a mistake or something. And I think, yeah, I don't know. I guess I've always just enjoyed like challenging myself, and I always felt like if I wasn't taking a hard route or choosing some path that would be challenging, and I feel like those paths are the most rewarding. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
I guess that's why I enjoy like pushing myself and like attacking, like you said, because I don't know. I feel like that's where you grow the most as a
Absolutely.
person.
I feel like when you also always do it, challenge yourself, when you do have success, you also fail a lot more than people realize. How do you deal with those failures? Not necessarily success. Obviously, success makes it worth it, but when those times that you
Mhm.
fail and you don't do what you necessarily worked all your whole time to do,
Yeah.
like what do you do? Like what is your headspace at?
It's funny. My high school coach like taught me something, and like this is like my strategy for it. Like I guess I'll use track as an example, but this really applies for like anything. Like I don't know, like failing a test or something. But my coach always told me like, all right, like if something doesn't go your way, you got 15, 20 minutes to be as upset as you want, like be as angry as you want, whatever. But then like once those 20, 30 minutes are up, you got to just try and take a different approach. Just go straight to like reflective, like okay, how, like what did I do wrong, what can I do to improve? And I think the most important thing from failure is just like taking what you can and learning from it, and that's what I always try and do. But I think that's something I definitely need to work on too, is just like being able to admit like, oh, that was just a bad race, or I just really didn't do well on that calc exam or whatever. But I think it's just it's about, I feel like, just trying to stay calm and just methodically, be methodical. It's like, all right, just take what you can, just learn,
I love that.
try and be better.
That's awesome, man. You guys got something? I know you're looking at I know you're looking at those bikes over there.
I'm- Yeah, no, I'm curious. I'm still shocked that you're able to do like track and
Me too.
want to be a mechanical engineer. So I guess through your recruitment process, did you always want to go to Notre Dame? What drew you to Notre Dame? Is there anything in specific, I guess?
So, actually, it's a funny story. I don't know if I should name the school, but I was committed to another school before.
You were?
I was, yeah. So this is
Is it
like-
a good school?
Lewisburg, Bucknell. It was
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Why'd you say oh like that?
and so the story was, I mean, I might go on a tangent here.
You're good.
It's fine.
Hey, it's on you. You're good.
So, all right, my junior year, I was putting up like decent times in track, but it would not, I was getting looks from like small D1, so like Bucknell, like Patriot League, schools like that. And by the time my senior fall rolled around, I really only had Bucknell as an offer. Maybe like I was talking to like 2 other schools, but it wasn't really getting anywhere. And so in my head, I'm like, oh, like I'll just commit here. I like the school. It's a great place, and I mean, I really enjoyed my official visit. So I committed, and then I quickly realized that it probably wasn't the right fit for me, and so I decommitted. And I actually applied to Notre Dame and like a bunch of other schools just regularly through admissions. So like my entire winter spring season, I wasn't committed or anything, and so I reached out to Coach Z. I knew very little about Notre Dame. It wasn't like super high on my radar like from the beginning or anything, but I reached out to Z. No response. I reached out again like 2 weeks later. I had run some better times. Then I got a response, and and then from there, like we started talking, and then he actually invited me for like an official visit in like March my senior year,
Right.
so really late. And then I came here. I really really liked it, and then pretty much after I got home, I was like, all right, yeah, this is the right fit for me, and so I committed. And like it was like late March by that point.
Wait, that's a good story.
It's a really
Yeah.
good
I
story.
did not know that story. I do feel like I remember you visiting. I don't think I
Yeah,
really
it was,
talked to
it
you
was
though.
like a random Thursday.
Yeah.
She thought she was too.
No,
cool.
I think I was.
Too Hollywood.
I think that's exactly what I was gonna say. I think I was too Hollywood, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, actually, I was joking.
All right, yeah, that was
That's
messed
crazy.
up.
That's insane.
no, not actually, but I felt like I was like, oh, like it's like I don't know. It's weird when a boy comes because
You got cooties.
like a little. I don't know.
I just
It
remember
can be weird.
it was.
He seems like such a great guy. How would you?
And
I'm
like
kidding.
I don't know.
It was right before. I think I remember Jack and Frazier because they were or Jack was my host. It was
Okay.
right before a pajama party, like that. the
We
team
had
was
one.
having. Yeah.
Oh, I
usually
probably
we-
wasn't invited.
Oh,
There's a
oh.
pajama. There's a pajama party.
Apparently, there's a pajama party.
Oh yeah. Wait,
Gotta
was this
get
my
that
freshman
going at
year?
football. I want a
Yeah.
pajama
Yeah,
party.
no, I don't think I was invited to the pajama party.
Oh.
That sounds fun.
I wasn't invited. It
I'm
probably
sorry.
was
well, no,
fun.
I'm
Zay.
sorry. I'm almost coping with you because like I'm
Okay,
not.
good.
I don't have that.
No, I'm just kidding. I may have been invited.
I don't want to skim over what he said though.
Oh, me either.
And also, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know for sure.
I wanted to go back.
This was just the talk. This is talk of the town.
There was no
I
party.
wasn't-
He was joking.
I
There
was
no party.
No,
joking.
it's okay. It's fine. It's
I definitely
fine.
wasn't
Guys,
there.
No, it's fine. I was gonna say, I think it's really funny. Okay, let's just. Okay,
It was-
are you done, Zay? I think that it's funny because not funny, but you had to reach out to Z like twice,
Yeah, that's what I was
and
gonna
I
say.
think that's so important for people to hear because you just have to be persistent,
Yeah.
and you're your biggest advocate. And I think that's the biggest
Definitely.
thing in recruiting that helped me. It was like I sent like 50 emails to like 100 different coaches and whatever,
right.
and it only takes one to
Yep.
respond to be where you are. So that's an important message.
So that's what I was gonna go
definitely
back. I was gonna say closed mouths don't get fed. Like,
Okay.
I think that's a
That's
huge
bars.
thing about. That's a huge thing, especially in high school, because you don't realize like all these coaches are gonna reach out to me.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's gonna.
not.
This is not how it works. Like,
Mhm.
you still have to do a lot of
When
the
you
job
do
on you.
their job for you, or wait, when you do
if you reach
their
out,
job for them.
yeah, I know what you meant. But like you said, you even reached out and you didn't even get a response.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks later, that's another key. Don't just reach out. Be persistent, like
Yeah.
you said. 2 weeks later, you reach out again,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you get a response.
Chances are they may not have even seen your email. You just gotta get back on the
And it's in the story when you hear the story, you're like, oh wow, like that's awesome. But as a high school kid, that's harder to do than people think. To reach
Yeah.
out,
It's
and-
intimidating, for
right?
sure.
Because you're like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not. You have all these doubts coming in.
Mhm.
And they're not gonna look at my email, and maybe they don't the first time. Maybe they don't the second time.
Mhm.
Maybe it takes 7 or
Oh yeah, you just gotta
right. Like you
keep
just don't know. But the fact that you were able to, like, it's going back to yourself, challenge, have those
Mhm.
doubts, just kill them and keep going. I feel like that was a huge part. I'm happy you picked that up too, because as a high school kid, it's so easy to just think it's just gonna come. Like,
Uh-huh.
everything's just gonna come
Oh,
your
yeah.
way.
Mhm.
It's a Disney Channel show. It's just gonna.
No, that's my biggest advice when people ask me.
Right.
Is like you're your biggest like advocate. Like
Yeah.
you're the one that has to do the job. Like it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
but it is so worth it.
Definitely.
And I feel like that's now too when you're trying to find internships.
Yeah,
or
I was
Exactly.
just
trying
gonna
to-
say it's like the exact
it's,
same.
it's
thing.
even more now.
Right.
It's like
It
you
works
have
for
to.
everything.
You
That's
gotta.
what I'm learning. Like you have to go and get it. Like,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna be
sure.
given to you, and it's. We're blessed to have Notre Dame like beside us and have
Right.
our name next to Notre Dame, but you
Mhm.
still have to go out
But
and
that doesn't do the
put
whole
your
job.
put
Yeah.
your name out there. And but Notre Dame does get a certain type of person, and I feel like it helps.
Yeah.
But absolutely, you have to go and get it. So I feel
Agreed.
like that ties into life.
That was a good question, Jimmy, asking him, because I didn't even know that. I wish
Yeah.
I could ask all the track people, like, how was your recruiting? Because everyone has crazy unique stories.
Yeah.
Like, there's not one singular path that fits all.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Favorite talent.
Favorite
Something outside of sports and outside of
just
making
something
cars.
like something completely like
random that you're really good at.
and
Really
probably like
good at.
99% of the people that you tell
Like,
it
you
to
go
would be
home,
like,
and you're like,
I'm like practicing.
yeah.
Oh,
You're like, I'm good at this, but a lot of people don't know.
I might be washed now, but I'm decent at juggling.
That's right.
He's
good at juggling.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like nothing crazy. Like I can, three tennis balls. I can do like an under the legs on like one of the.
I'm gonna have. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have a funny story time real quick, even though it's not about me. Jaden Mickey, who we've had on this pod before, friend of the show, he's a football player. He was trying to learn how to juggle, and this is probably a random Tuesday. He couldn't. He was horrible. He had like 3 of them, and it was very bad. It was hitting him in the head, and it was all over the place. He watched a YouTube video for the whole day. He trained himself. I come back home, like it's like the next day at 7 p.m. He is juggling. He's going full out. I tried it. I'm very bad. So props to you.
It's the kind of thing like it makes no sense until like you do like once.
Clicks.
Like I did it accidentally, and I was like, oh okay.
You're like,
and then,
I understand it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so like I was on break at my summer job like my sophomore year, and I was really bored, and so I just like my friend knew how to juggle, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, it seems cool. But
your summer job is lifeguarding.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
It is.
That's pretty cool.
You were telling us a crazy story.
In
Crazy
Jersey?
story.
Is this in Jersey?
Yeah, I'm a lakefront. Nothing. I'm not like Jersey Shore or anything. But beachfront lifeguards. That's like a stressful job. I could not do that. But anyway, do you want me to tell the story?
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
Story time.
I mean, yeah,
Story
it's a
time.
good story.
Yeah. So, like my lake that I worked at was pretty like quiet. It was never that crowded, and so I never really had any like major scares while I was on stand. And so this past summer, this is my last shift ever. The last hour of my last shift ever. It's like August. Like I leave like for to come back to school like the next day. I'm on stand and we get like a missing person call, right? And normally, like 99% of the time they're just somewhere like on the playground, like some kid like lost his mom or something. So we're checking the beach, trying to find this kid. We're not really panicking yet. We can't find this kid anywhere on the premises, right? Keep in mind, I'm like checked out by this point because like I'm still focused. But I'm, like it's like this is the
like your last hour of your last
no
shift.
one was in the water. This is my last shift ever. It's a nice day. I'm just like, all right, like no one's in the water. This is fine, and so I'm just kind of like on stand, still watching the water, but and we get this call and like we can't find this kid, so we have to call a missing person drill, which is like, or a missing person rescue. It's not even a drill, but like everyone has to line up like along the dock.
Oh yeah.
Jump in, you like dive down, search the bottom, come up, move like 2 feet, dive back down, and you have to do that across. It's like probably like a 50-meter swim area, and it was like it's like really exhausting and it was terrifying. You know what I mean?
Like, what if you're the one that
exactly?
finds
Yeah,
something?
it was really scary. And so like we search across the whole pool, nothing. As soon as we get to the end, we get a call like the kid is safe. Like he had walked home, and
you're deep in the water.
I'm like about to like throw up, like because I'm like nerves. I'm exhausted from the rescue thing, and the kid had just walked home.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that story because we have another lifeguard on our team, and she was talking about like a missing person thing. But yeah,
does lifeguarding and track go hand in hand? Am I missing something?
It might.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, all my brothers like,
breathing maybe
they did lifeguarding. I kind of just followed in their footsteps.
There's breathing techniques in running, right? Like you guys have to, right? So maybe
Breathing techniques. I don't know. Just breathing is good.
You know
like
what?
you have to like breathe.
You know what would be the best job in the world?
Let me think.
What? Podcasting professionally.
Living in a house with Jimmy,
Yeah.
becoming YouTubers.
Oh, that would be a job.
Yeah.
That would just be fun.
Yeah, it'd be a fun job.
Yeah.
What about me?
Aries.
No, but I'm thinking being a lifeguard at the Olympics.
Yeah.
I feel like no one would need help for real. So
Right, exactly. And you
Okay,
just
Michael, you good?
you get a front row seat
That is
to
actually a
Olympic
pretty cool
swimming.
job.
And I guess like maybe the worst thing that happens is someone like cramps or something.
Yeah, how good does a lifeguard have to be to like you have
Right.
to save an Olympic swimmer?
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty.
He's got to have a medal or something.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of crazy to think about. I like that.
Maybe that I'll pursue it.
I could see it.
You let us know how that goes, Jimmy.
I could see it.
I think my next question for Jack would be, because you're pretty young and like we don't really have, I feel like, do we have a lot of young people on the pod? I feel like we usually
We're all
just
over the place.
go for like girls that are
Magda
or
was
boys that are friends.
uh,
She was a freshman.
she was a freshman.
I think I want to ask the transition to like
Mhm.
high school to college athletics and what's been the hardest / your favorite part. So 2-parter.
All right. So I mean, I'll start with like my favorite part. I mean, definitely just like the team camaraderie. I'd
Yeah.
say I had my team in high school was pretty close, but this is just like another level. You know what I mean? And like I feel like when you have like people that come from very different backgrounds but like share the same love for like a sport, like everyone just bonds together really well. And I mean that's been my favorite part about school in general is just
The
being able
boys,
to-
I feel like the boys team,
yeah
no matter the age, no matter,
everyone's super tight.
the
like, super
event,
tight,
you guys definitely click. I mean, the girls too, but
Yeah.
it's a little different.
yeah definitely.
I feel like in regards of like gender friendships. But so what's been the hardest part?
I'd say like having to transition like everyone on the team, when they're in high school, like they were the best on their team, best, in their state, you know what I mean? And so like I guess because having to get used to the setbacks and the days that don't go well is really hard, I'd say. And it's like,
Yeah.
When you're in high school, a normal day is, kind of destroying everyone. You know what I mean? Like that's just like
Yeah.
it's just kind of how it goes, but then you get to D1 and
Yeah.
everyone was that person in high school and you realize
Exactly.
like, oh, I'm actually like not that good. Like I have to like really work. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just, I've always considered myself a hard worker, but you get to D1, everyone's a hard worker like that, and so you got to just like stay, disciplined and stuff. I'd say like having to adjust and learning to embrace the days where, races don't go your way, which just happens so much more often in college. I'd say like that's probably been the hardest part.
If I were to go back, I would say the exact same thing because you're so right.
Mhm.
I remember my dad telling me like, you're gonna have to get used to learning or to losing. You're gonna have to get used to losing, but don't get, or what do you say?
Don't
I
get
forget.
discouraged.
Something about like get used to losing, but don't get used to losing.
Yeah.
Don't
get like comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And it like derails your confidence.
Yeah.
And so it's just a constant fight with
Yeah.
that. Is there anything that you've done that's been helpful to like combat these struggles?
I mean, I guess just, continuing to like work hard and practice. I mean, I feel like that's always, if I wasn't happy with the way a meet went or a race went, I feel like the easiest solution is just, all right, like put in the work, just go back to the lab, just keep working hard. And I feel like as long as you're doing the right things, in practice and outside of practice, I just trust like, all right, things will come together. I mean, sometimes that's another thing I've learned. Like sometimes your body just isn't ready to run fast. Like there might not be a reason you can point out, but I remember even like coming back from my injury, like I felt the fittest I'd ever been, the fastest I'd ever been, but I wasn't hitting the times that, I did in high school. And I was like, this is bad. Like what's happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, you just gotta just keep plugging away. And like it's just all about patience, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Good answers, Jack.
Thanks.
I can relate to the hamstring injury. I injured my hamstring too in high school and here. I've injured it 3 times actually, both one time. But
Both?
yes.
What were you? How's that?
Well, because in high school I pulled it,
yeah,
but I kept playing, and so then I pulled the other one.
Oh,
But they were both pulled. That was horrible.
How'd you-
bad. Yeah,
But dude, hamstrings are so tough
They're
because you
the
just don't
worst.
know when. Like you do all the recovery, you do all the
Mhm.
treatment, and you kind of feel it again tightening up.
there's so much fear with them,
Right.
Because they can just They go from feeling like nothing at all to bam.
Right.
Like,
And I feel like sometimes I know when to stop. Like I almost feel it, and I'm like, hold
Mhm.
on, I gotta chill out because I
Yeah.
can feel it.
Yeah.
You feel the same thing.
yeah,
Like, I'm just,
it's like
Dude.
festering. You're like, oh, this is not going down a
and
good road.
it gets stronger once you do the
Yeah.
recovery. Like mine's gotten stronger, but it's just scary at some point.
Definitely.
So props to you to get over that because that's tough, especially when your sport is running.
Mhm.
Right, like football is a little bit different. Like your sport's just strictly running, so your hamstrings are just going nonstop. So
Mhm.
that's props, man.
No, it's tough. Yeah, that was, I think, like the hardest part about like the rehab process was just learning to trust it again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it was probably like fine to go like weeks before I
Yep.
actually started running, but in my head I was like, this is
Messes with you,
yeah, it does.
no doubt.
Yeah, I'd say I relate to what you said about sometimes your body not being able to run, like just not being ready to run fast.
You relate to it sometimes. It's just not the day.
I don't know what happened. I used to be fast when I was young, and then just stopped.
You were fast and tag in all
Yeah.
those games.
Yeah, flag football.
Flag football. Jimmy's a really good flag football player.
Really?
No.
Something that's a fun fact we
About-
always say.
Sorry, is there a way we can move this monitor? I want to be able
Yeah.
to. I can't see your face. All right, there we go. There.
He's handsome, huh?
There you go.
No, I'm not. I'm a flag. I'm like, I'm also the quarterback.
He's a humble guy.
and I don't play defense because I'm the quarterback.
Never plays
the QB.
defense.
So
You're the guy. You're the man.
I'm not a two-way though. I'm not like Travis Hunter.
But you're a quarterback. So what quarterback played both ways?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Jimmy's humble.
I
He
enjoy
doesn't want
it.
to talk about his stats, but he was
Enjoy it.
raw. He was tough.
So have you started looking for like internships?
Yeah, it's been.
How's that going?
Oh,
It's tough.
it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've applied to a good amount.
Like where, like NASA or
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. A lot of like just a lot of like local places, like kind of near where I live. A couple in Chicago.
Nice.
Haven't had much luck, but
It's
kind of
not
like we were
easy,
saying
eh?
before, we just gotta keep going. You know,
Yeah.
something will work out
and,
probably eventually.
And you're a sophomore, so like
Yeah.
a lot of
That's
them
what
are
I was
taking.
just about
I'm
to
not
say.
stressing
Sorry,
too much.
you got it.
No, you said it first, but we just had this talk. I literally just talked to Jack about this because you were talking to one of our coaches about it, I think, or somebody. You were talking to somebody, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I've looked," and I was like, "You're so young. They're not gonna give it to you. Like, there's somebody who is older, and they have like the same qualifications. It would just be because of age. So
Mhm.
don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Isaiah, you can't get an internship over the summer, can you?
Okay, it's just there's ways around it. Yes.
Jimmy, do you have a job yet? No?
No job yet. I'm talking to a lot of people, working on it though. It's going pretty well. It was discouraging for a while, but now it's becoming a little more encouraging.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And how have you, like, I don't know, networked? Like, is it scary coming to the end of grad? Like, I know we're second semester of your senior year. Are you getting scared to graduate? Or are you getting happy to graduate? Are you kind of tired of this shit? Like, what's
Oh, we can curse on this.
Oh, you can get your
what's
Oh,
the
shit.
deal
Okay. All right.
with
I would say a mixture of everything. Like, I'm excited to be done with school because I'll be done with like having to do schoolwork. I'm not excited to I feel like living a life and like going to work every day and all that seems great, but also I know I'll miss
Mhm.
like everything else that was here, like besides the school, like this stuff and all the other media stuff that I do and my friends and like what we do, like hanging out on the weekends, traveling together, doing all that. But yeah, like a little bit of both.
Mhm.
But I also don't have a job yet, so we'll see.
Whoever gets you.
But then you
Could be
can be
lucky
with
to
your
have you, bro.
girlfriend, right?
Yes.
After. You've had to do long distance for so long.
Yes.
And now you can finally be together.
Yes, we can finally be together. When I get a
word.
job.
If I you're just trying to set this
Yeah.
brother up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that.
I got you, Jimmy. I'm sidetracking. A word of advice as a Notre Dame student athlete. We get a lot of emails.
Yeah,
And in those
I can
emails,
imagine.
sometimes they're very important.
I get a lot of emails. I
And-
can only imagine how many.
In some of those emails, there's networking events.
Yeah.
my freshman year, there was networking events, and I used to go to some of them. And there's a bunch of guys and girls, and they're all probably doing something very great in life. But they want you to talk to them. But I was just like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I was a freshman, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of scared to talk to them. And I'm not really a shy person, but in this situation, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And seeing the older guys, they're all trying to network because they're going to get out soon, so they're trying to make those connections. So whenever there's a networking event in those emails, I would, if you can go, absolutely go. It doesn't even matter if they're not even in your, if it's not, like I want to go into sports broadcasting. I'm going to a networking event, I believe it's in a few days, that has all medical and real estate. I'm going to go talk to every person I can there because you just don't know.
You just never know, yeah.
Who knows who. And like these Notre Dame alumni, like they want to help. Yeah. Like they want to meet
for sure.
Meeting a guy like you who's like obviously seems like a really outstanding person and has like wants to go attack these things. Like they're gonna want somebody like you, or they're gonna know somebody that wants somebody like you. So once you make those connections, they'll put, like I've had people that aren't necessarily in the field that I want to go into, but they're like, give me your email. I know somebody that will help you. Yeah. And that's just one of my biggest words of advice because Notre Dame does a really good job of having us have opportunities to network. It's just if you take advantage of it, because it's optional. So if you can go if you want, you don't have to go. And so a lot of people overlook it, but I would say absolutely go when you see those things as a Notre Dame student.
Definitely, yeah.
That's my word of advice for today.
And the next thing you know, you'll be the head engineer at McLaren.
Yeah, you just never know.
One day, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, no, Notre Dame's pretty cool about that stuff. Not gonna lie.
You got any questions for us or anything?
Yeah, fun questions.
Oh man, where are you guys all from?
I'm from Metro Detroit.
Okay.
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Do you know where I'm from, Jack?
Indiana.
Yep.
Carmel, right?
Yep. We just were there.
We were-
Wait, you didn't go.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, we had a track meet.
With-
I am from Indiana, and we had a track meet in Indianapolis, and our hotel was a mile from my house.
That's cool.
So it's funny, but
Did you stop home?
I did stop.
That's
by
funny.
home.
That's awesome.
People from Indiana love Indiana.
Yeah,
Have you noticed that?
I have.
Do you love Indiana?
I used to not love Indiana. I wanted to leave so bad, but I'm still here. So yeah, I love Indiana so much.
It's got.
They do
got
love
charm.
it. They really do.
They have the Indiana Dunes, the national. You've never been? It's like that's a national.
I've heard
park.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't been since you lived here your whole life. Oh,
Yeah, but I mean,
it's like
it's touristy for a reason. You might as well just do it.
It's like,
what's the most fun thing you can do in Jersey?
Jersey Shore for sure.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Yeah. I talk about this a lot in practice, but no, it's a great place. Actually, I was getting a lot of slander because a lot of people on the team don't think Jersey's a top 10 state. And
Well, let's talk about it.
let's talk about this.
Let's think.
All right.
I think there's an easy top 3. California.
No.
It's not top 10?
No, it's top 10 for sure.
I want you guys to name 3 states better than California.
Okay, but like, what are we
So,
ranking?
all right,
Wait,
yeah.
what are we ranking on?
What
To
are we
live?
ranking?
I
To live in?
understand why.
I think to live in is what we got to go by because
Okay.
California is very like romanticized. You know what I mean?
It's very expensive,
very expensive.
but there's a reason for it.
Like,
Texas is one. I think Texas is easy one. No,
Top 3 for
Texas.
sure.
Yeah,
Florida.
Florida's up there. Florida's
I was gonna
top.
say Florida.
Those two are definitely up there.
I think next is California. That's just me. Because you got beaches. You can go snowboarding if you want to. No, I don't think it's top
Jersey's
3.
above New York.
So expensive.
I could see that. I feel like New York's
It's
New York's very. What?
Absolutely
bottom 10.
not.
I live, Carmel is like top 10.
We're talking about the state. We're talking about the state. We're
Yeah.
not talking about cities.
Carmel is a great town.
Is it a city or is it like more of a town? Like
It's a suburb.
suburb. Okay.
Suburb.
Okay, so we have.
It's a great suburb, but also like when you're driving from Notre Dame to Indianapolis, you like once you get like an hour past Notre Dame, you don't pass a single town
void.
until you get to Carmel.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Or I guess you pass Westfield,
doesn't have to
which
be
is pretty much
it
Carmel.
doesn't have to be in order right now. But let's say what we have right, like above New Jersey.
Okay.
All right.
So what do we have above New Jersey?
So we got Texas, we got Cali, we got Florida.
Florida.
Not Indiana.
no.
I say not New York, which
I haven't been,
Actually,
so I don't
okay.
know.
New York has New York City, so maybe I'll give you New York.
Vegas?
No,
Vegas isn't a state.
Oh, I'm tripping.
Nevada. Nevada.
Nevada, but is Nevada nice? It's really hot.
It's hot.
it's dry.
Sneaky, North Carolina.
I've heard North Carolina's gorgeous.
I'd give you North Carolina.
North
North
Carolina.
So
Carolina.
we're at what?
Four.
4?
Virginia, I don't know enough about Virginia.
I don't know.
Virginia's-
Michigan's great, dude. You got 4 seasons. You got a city. You got ski hills.
Well, it's
you
too
got
cold.
Yeah, but you got 4 seasons.
It's freezing.
It's the same as here.
And that's why it's not top 10.
Yeah, but there's so much. But there's so
Colorado's
much.
a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Colorado.
All right, I'll
I
give
don't
you
know much.
Colorado.
But
5.
think about
Massachusetts.
Indiana.
I disagree. I think I think Jersey's better than Massachusetts.
Ooh.
Think about
Ooh. I haven't been to Jersey,
okay. Massachusetts has Boston.
though. Massachusetts, low-key 5. You're tripping.
I think Boston's pretty cool.
Boston's pretty
Boston
cool.
is
Yeah.
sick.
Other
I was
than
born
okay,
there.
what
It's
else?
sick.
What else does Massachusetts have? Like Pilgrims.
No. So
Isn't this a podcast? I thought we
so
we have 5.
yeah, we got 5. So that's your top 5. So I would say probably in the 6 to 10 range. I'd put Jersey in there.
Yeah,
I
think
agree.
Jersey's
I
gonna
agree.
end up
I
being
think it's top 10. I think it's 9 or 10, but I think it's top 10.
there. Yeah.
Everyone-
I
It's
think that's
also the people who are from New Jersey love New Jersey.
Yeah.
same thing with California. Actually, no. It's
No.
not true.
No.
A lot of
Not
people
true.
hate
A lot
California.
of people hate California.
But
My
they
roommate-
hate it. They don't hate it because of California. They hate it because it's expensive,
Mm.
which is like it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because California,
They like
so-
the idea of living in California, but they don't
Right.
like what comes with
Yeah.
California.
Right.
Yeah.
my
there's a lot of pros
roommate's
and cons.
my roommate's from Sacramento. I don't think he likes it. Too much.
Sacramento is very different. So I
Yeah.
grew up in Sacramento too. So I
Okay.
grew up in Sacramento and then moved to Los Angeles. Actually, I like Sacramento more than LA. I don't like LA, but San Diego's fantastic. Malibu's fantastic.
San Diego's great.
It's hard to not acknowledge the San Diego's, Malibu's. The
I'm going to San Diego.
San Diego's awesome. You're gonna love San Diego.
It's nice. I've been there one time for like 2 nights. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
Anaheim. That's where Universal.
I've been to
is,
Anaheim, too.
and all there. That's really nice too. It's really just pick and chip. California's too big. It has
There's
too
so
many-
much,
Yeah.
but they also have the coast.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the people who live there don't like it.
I think what's awesome, even though there's a lot of bad things about California, is that you can snowboard. Like where I live, if I want to go snowboard, it's about an hour and a half away. If I want to go to the beach, it's like 20 minutes away. If I want, like, there's a lot
Yeah,
of things I
that's
can do
true.
that's not
Mhm.
that far away
That's
from
true.
each other.
Yeah,
But you can't do that at a lot of places,
do
which is
that.
kind of cool. Tahoe's.
You can do that in Michigan.
You're gonna be on the beach freezing.
But yeah,
Nah, I'd say Jersey top 10.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
I'd say probably.
I want to go.
appreciate
I want to
that.
go. I've heard it's really fun.
Jersey Shore in the summer is a great time, but you got to go to the right place. There's a lot of questionable areas for sure, but like LBI,
Do you think the New Jersey over New York's a hot take? I don't know. I haven't been either.
I think, like, yeah, it probably is, but because obviously New York has, New York City, but
Where's Long Island?
that's like I don't know.
Is that York or
It's no, it's New York,
New
but
York.
it's like north. It's Long Island's kind of
Jersey? Is the Hamptons New York?
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to mic?
No.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think 6 to 10 range.
Yeah.
But I'd say most New Jersey people would argue for top 5. So I'm surprised you're not arguing for top.
I
5.
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't say top 5, but
There's so many New Jersey people here.
There
Yeah.
are. I've
There-
realized
there's
that.
a-
There's a ton.
So
Yeah.
many people.
It's interesting. I wonder why. I mean, it's cool, but it's a lot of them.
There are a lot.
I've met a ton. That's actually probably one of the main people
You
I've
can
met.
play, can't you?
dude,
Yep, let's do it.
You cannot do this.
There's
to
a string
me.
missing. We're playing a song. Let's go.
You can play.
This
you
is-
can play.
Oh god,
Yep.
this is
Can you sing?
Yes.
dude. It's broken.
It's okay.
There's no
Try your
sixth string.
best. Just
It's
try
also
your.
definitely not in tune.
It's okay, bro.
I
It's
can't
whatever.
tune. I can't
We
tune by
won't
ear.
judge.
How is he going to play without that string?
You don't need it.
Yeah, I can't play it. Sorry, guys.
No, just try.
That's out of tune.
Yep.
That's very out of tune. I'd have to tune it.
No, it will.
I
You can
mean,
sing while he goes.
I can't do it efficiently. It'd be a.
Well,
A waste
you
of
look great
time.
holding it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
We
I'll
can
just, I'll just hold
we
it the
can
rest of the
take
podcast.
a picture of that,
Yeah.
and that will be.
Yeah, you can put it on the Instagram story.
Yeah.
And then we can bait
If you
people into
wanna
listening
listen
to the
to him
show.
sing,
They'll listen.
Wait,
It's at the very end.
The very
Just
end.
clickbait
and then
him.
we'll just right at the very end, and end it.
Those chords sounded horrendous. Everyone's gonna think I'm trash.
No, they know that it's missing a string.
It's like dangling.
I remembered. Sorry.
Well, that's great.
I remember that he could play because we had a talent show, and
Talent show.
yeah,
we do a
for
team
our
talent
track
show.
team,
That's cool.
and he played guitar, and he played what was it, Linger?
Yeah, I was with
It was
my other
good.
teammate. It
know
wasn't
what?
it wasn't a solo act.
Should I insert the videos from the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Insert. And we're
Okay.
back.
So.
We should edit me doing like act like
Act like.
and then you just gotta put a soundtrack behind it and make it sound
Got
fantastic.
you.
Thanks. Appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, dude.
Thank
that
you
was-
so
hope you
much
had
for
a good
having
Do you have
me.
any final questions for us?
Oh man.
It can be fun. It can
Yeah,
be.
could be funny.
Hey.
Oh, I mean, am I welcome back?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
You can absolutely come back.
Duh! Every
this-
other
that's having-
episode.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you guys for having me. This
I
is
appreciate you.
Thanks
I'm
Jack.
honored.
for coming on and wanting
This is
to
a fun
be a
one.
part of this podcast and this culture
Yeah, no.
that we have.
We have a fun
going
group.
on.
Of people that we've had.
Yeah, we definitely have
Just a
a lot
golden,
of fun.
a golden
I
ticket
think
party.
this is how I've made all my friends. Is they've been guests on the pod, and I'm like, and then I see them later. I'm
That's true, actually. Like after we have guests, like we always see them, and now we're just
like, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Like this
it's,
now,
it's
so.
a lot of fun. I knew for sure like having Jack on, like you guys would really like him because you're just a chill guy.
Oh, thank you.
chill, dude.
But we usually end with a prayer.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I like when Zay does the prayers.
Okay, all right. I can...
Says,
Jimmy, you want to do it today? I feel like you're feeling it though.
Yeah, sure, I'll do
All
it.
right. Let's go. You good?
She only likes when Zay does it for some reason. She suggests him every time.
Just go.
Like before I can. Usually I'm like, oh, she's gonna say who wants to do it, and I'll do it. But she's like, I really, really like when Zay does it. Zay's so good at it.
Okay, pause.
She did it again.
Jimmy, go. Pray.
Dear God, thank you for bringing us here today after a long break. Thank you for watching over all of us as we traveled and did a bunch of fun things over winter break and gearing us up for this second semester, my last semester, and their junior year and Jack's sophomore year. Thank you very much for watching over us and keeping you close in our hearts. Amen.
Amen.
Jack, it was such a blast having you on.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
So that's season 2, episode 7
Of the golden
of the
ticket.
Golden Ticket.
Love you, Ma.
Peace.